Hi, thanks for joining us. I am Patrick Von Holt, Head of Business Development here at Shero Commerce, and this is our eComm Experts video series where we interview industry leaders who offer actionable advice and practical solutions for e-commerce growth. Today we have with us Tristan Oker, an agency partner manager at ShipperHQ, which is an awesome platform that allows e-commerce stores to streamline their shipping and checkout processes to optimize the customer experience, as well as solve a number of other business problems. So with that in mind, Tristan's here to share with us his 5 top tips for creating a better customer experience at checkout, which can help your store increase conversions. So to jump right in, what are those top 5 ways that you think e-commerce stores can improve their customer experience?
So 1, make sure that your customer has the appropriate shipping methods at checkout, right? So make it easy for them. You don't want to have a whole bunch of shipping methods that don't apply to them, like Worldwide Express if it's just a local customer, or you have a in-store pickup option when the customer is 1,000 miles away, or if you're selling lobsters in Maine and you know that you have a perishable product, you want to make sure that the customer that's in Washington, clear across the country, isn't able to select a ground shipping option, right? One, if for whatever reason the product actually gets out the door of your business and they receive a big sloppy mess of lobster 5 days later, that is an absolutely horrible customer experience. But ultimately, you'll probably catch that, when you're sending the product out the door, you have to reach back out to the customer, say they selected the wrong shipping method, tell them they, probably have to pay more for the expedited option. It's just really bad, puts a bad taste in their mouth, especially if it's a new customer. So want to make sure that you're able to take full control in the checkout and, again, make it easy for the customer so that they're only able to see the shipping options that are applicable to them based on where they are, what's in the cart, all those other options. So aside from that, number 2, in-store pickup. So as we've seen with COVID, having these businesses that typically didn't have an online presence now rushing to go online so that they can support their customers and still, sell things to their loyal customers. They want to be able to have an option to have pickup in the checkout. And so with that, there's a couple things to keep in mind. When you're offering an in-store pickup option in the checkout, it's great to build trust and loyalty and face time with your local customers, but you're going to want to set up some sort of parameters, for the most part around when that option is going to show. So when the customer's in the checkout and they punch in their zip code, you might want to set up maybe a 100-mile radius, 200-mile radius, so that it only appears when that customer is in that radius. Otherwise, sometimes they'll have just a free shipping option. Customers clear across the country, they see free shipping, they click that, they never come pick up their order. They email you in saying, hey, where's my order? They're like, hey, it's right here. You clicked pickup option, and have to go through that whole process with the customer. Alternatively, if you are sort of a destination company like a winery or something like that, then maybe you do want to have it on at all times, but make it very clear that, hey, this is a pickup option that's going to be available for you at our winery, right? So if a customer wants to buy those bottles of wine and then fly to your winery and then consume or enjoy them there or take them back, whatever, that's also another tactic with in-store pickup.
Yeah, and I guess just to interject there, the whole online sales of perishable goods is something that's definitely been fast-tracked in the past year, I guess almost going on 2 years now, but it's been a trend for a while to see grocery stores offering in-store pickup and those types of things. I know you and I have a shared client that sells seafood online, so we definitely understand the importance of having the correct shipping methods populating, but I know we can take it even more granular than that and have different shipping options for different products in the cart. Say they're buying a bottle of wine and a lobster, the wine bottle, maybe they can wait a week for that, but that lobster, you'll definitely want to get it to them quickly as possible. So yeah, it's just been a trend that we've seen. We've spoken with a lot of different restaurants and even wineries, like you mentioned. We're excited to see more of those businesses that were previously kind of excluded from e-commerce stepping into e-commerce and taking advantage of a whole new sales channel essentially for them.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Yeah,
it's, we've seen a bunch of people pull from, typical mom and pop shops that have like a local presence. They go online and their business explodes because who would have guessed, people across the country love lobster as well.
yeah.
And, maybe visited them once or something like that. So yeah, great point. I guess number three would be through showing accurate shipping rates in the checkout. So this, probably pretty common knowledge stuff, but it's really tough to be able to display those accurate rates if you are transferring the cost to your customers. And so you want to make sure that you have, not only all of your products dimensions put into your SKU catalog so that that those can be pulled into the checkout and then read and then accurately rated on. But also, you want to make sure you're not over or undercharging your customers. Obviously, if you're doing either one of those things, you're either losing a customer because the shipping is too expensive, or you're losing money and eating the cost of shipping when you really shouldn't be. So having accurate shipping rates in the checkout is really, really crucial. And moreover, I'd say, this would be ideal for if you're offering multiple shipping methods. So if you have a, USPS account and a FedEx account, so that you have really good coverage across the country, it's something else that I also would, recommend, so that you can, sometimes UPS has great coverage in one portion of the country, on that day, whereas FedEx maybe has a better coverage and a cheaper rate. If you're able to, maybe shop around with those different rates and cross compare in the checkout and the display only the best rate, the customer wins, you win, everybody's saving money on shipping and ultimately leading to a higher conversion rate. So number 4 in the tips and tricks that I've learned. So to get the most accurate rates, you're going to want to have mentions on all of your products and have the dimensions of your boxes that you're shipping with most often. The reason for this is that, if you're not rating this way and you're only rating by weight, companies like, UPS, FedEx, USPS, and others, some LTL companies as well, they use dimensional weight. And if you have an account, you're probably familiar with dimensional divisor, which essentially is taking into consideration not only the weight, but also the space that the box takes up on the truck. So, if you're shipping, really oblong, oversized, weirdly shaped things, or things that are large and light, like popcorn tins or something like that, or globes, or, fishing rods, swords, fencing swords, or, anything you think of, like weird stuff like that, then, you want to make sure that you're taking those dimensions into account as well. Because for sure, I guarantee you, UPS, FedEx, and USPS are, and they'll let you know with the invoice at the end of the month. So taking those dimensions into account is hugely important when you're talking about live rating from those carriers and a number of others as well.
We have a few clients that really speak highly of the enhanced checkout feature that you offer. Could you tell us a little bit more about the quote unquote enhanced checkout from ShipperHQ?
Sure thing. Thought you'd never ask. Yeah. Enhanced checkout. So we're talking about customer experience, but also expectation, right? So you probably have a higher expectation of shipping in the checkout, mainly because Amazon has really kind of reinvented shipping in general, but also the customer's expectations. And you can see that in the checkout, because now you can choose whether you want your items to come express or ground or LTL or whatever you want in the checkout with Amazon. And so essentially that's what enhanced checkout does as well. We get the Amazon style checkout where we're essentially able to show those splits in the shipment when there's multiple origins, or if an order is must go LTL or something like that. You want to show that in the checkout to the customer, that their order is coming in multiple shipments. It doesn't only help with you being able to identify that as merchant, but for the customer, they can see, oh, it looks like item 1 will be here this Wednesday, item 2 will be here on Friday, and item 3 will be here next week, right? Or 6 weeks from now if it's back ordered item. So that's essentially what enhanced checkout does. Allows for those splits to be shown in the checkout and really helps with messaging as well as conversion. So you don't only have the ability to show when those splits are coming from, multiple origin, but you can also set those up in a way that allows for different rules to be applied, like LTL shipments that must go freight. Those can be right alongside your small parcel shipments that essentially have to go UPS or FedEx, et cetera. But you want to show that in the checkout.
Yeah, and I guess it's also it allows you to set parameters and limitations where it's applicable, but it also gives shoppers options. I think you were mentioning an example of buying clothing online, and you want the shirt for the party tomorrow night, or you can wait a little bit longer on the other items in the order, so you can select express shipping for one product and standard ground shipping for others. Better customer experience. It keeps their price point down because they don't have to expedite the entire order, so you're more likely to get that conversion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, you can select those different shipping methods for express items versus items that go ground. Or if, for instance, like the mutual client that we have that sells those perishable products, sells lobster and seafood, they also sell sort of stock items, right? Like the rubs and the spices that go along with cooking those fish. And so if you're a customer and you buy sort of a cooking package where you're buying the fish and the spice and maybe like some apron and an oven mitt or something like that, those are all drastically different requirements when it comes to shipping. The lobster must go overnight and will be there within 24 48 hours, whereas the rest of the items can go ground. Of course you can give them the option to also go overnight, but it's not necessary. And so from a merchant standpoint, you want to be able to set up those types of rules saying, hey, these items absolutely have to be adhered to with these shipping requirements or these shipping rules, and going this specific shipping method, whereas others may be less restrictive and can go a variety of different shipping methods. Aside from that, just being able to show the customer that those orders are coming in split shipments, and having the ability to take full control of what products are going which method. You're also able to have customers check out with pre-order or out of stock items right alongside in-stock items. Usually you're not able to do this. If you're out of stock, the customer journey kind of stops right there at the product page. Whereas with pre-order or out of stock items with enhanced checkout, you can show that the in-stock item will be there, this coming Friday, whereas the pre-order or out of stock item will be there within 6 weeks when the item is actually arrives, into the back to the store. And so you can enable those types of transactions, whereas historically, customer is got to be really loyal with the brand in order to trust them on a pre-order, or if it's out of stock, you essentially the customer journey stops there at the product page. So
Yeah. And then you might rely on like a back in stock notification app or something like that, which is helpful, but it's much better to capture that sale right there, and then with the appropriate expectation on when they're actually going to receive it. I think that's awesome.
Totally. Yeah. Like if you sell, let's say you sell like Christmas dinners and also, Valentine's Day chocolates and Easter baskets, right? If somebody wanted to do all of their shopping for the whole year and you had all those products available, you could do that, right? Or pre-order for several seasons ahead. That's really up to you. So that's the kind of ability that enhanced checkout gives.
So can you actually specify shipping dates? Like if you want to delay the shipment for several months, is that a possibility?
Yeah, so when you have the calendar functionality turned on, you can then select those dates for delivery, several months out, as long as you have it enabled on your checkout. So if you wanted to have all your purchases ready to go and delivered on a certain date, then you just select that on the calendar. And
yeah, I can think of so many useful applications for that, like with shopping for the holidays, right? Maybe you want to do your Christmas shopping for your spouse a little bit in advance, but you want to make sure that things are delivered while they're, out for a business trip or gone on vacation. That's just kind of one of those like offshoot benefits of being able to do that. Obviously, there's the much more practical kind of shipping requirements around perishable goods and stuff that we've been talking about. But it just, all these different advantages of these options kind of unfold as you make them available. Really cool to see you guys innovating in that way and creating a very similar experience to what Amazon has going on.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something that has like so many applications. You can even be the first one in. You can start merchandising that, right? Next 100 customers to pre-order this item, will get expedited shipping when that
or a free shirt or something like that. Yeah.
There you go. Right? So
cool. So I mean, I know this advanced checkout, that's kind of getting into a ShipperHQ specific feature, but you guys do a ton. So could you maybe just share with us a little bit more about ShipperHQ and exactly what you guys do as a business and how you operate?
So yeah, I'd love to share just sort of in general, ShipperHQ, sort of what we do, why merchants use us, why merchants love us, and what we can do for their customers. So what you're looking at here is essentially, some of our main advanced features. And if you start in the top left corner, a lot of merchants come to ShipperHQ with a bunch of different requirements that we can help set up with shipping rules. So that's like surcharging, discounting shipping, restrictions like the ones we talked about, and being able to just make sure that those rates that are lining up in the checkout as they are in real life with what's going out, the warehouse. And that's sort of, basic functionality. Then we start to talk about, we sort of dive into their needs and see, are you losing a lot of money on shipping? Or is there a lot of, rate discrepancies between what you're charging your customers and, what FedEx or UPS is charging you? And that's when we start to talk about, maybe you don't have the dimensions on your packages. So we can talk about dimensional packaging. And just a little, insight on how dimensional packaging works is that once you have the dimensions on your products, ShipperHQ can then read those dimensions for those products when they come into the checkout. And we can say, all right, products A, B, and C, they have these dimensions. And then we'll look at a set of predetermined boxes that you have set up in ShipperHQ. Let's say boxes 1 through 10. And we'll say, hey, products A, B, and C, they'll fit most snugly into boxes 2 and box 7. And then we'll package up all that information, the to, from, what's in the package, how much it weighs, the dimensions, and we'll reach out to FedEx and say, hey, how much is it to ship this item, and when will it be available for delivery to the customer? So those kind of things really help with not only aligning those accurate shipping rates, but also just being able to help save the merchants some money, as well as give the customer the best rate possible. Then we start talking about some things that maybe they had on their roadmap that they want to check off, like in-store pickup and what we can do there. It's obviously more popular as, with COVID, sort of table stakes now. And same thing with delivery dates, right? We're talking about customer expectations, what Amazon's really done to those expectations. I think if you don't have delivery dates in the checkout, then you're definitely missing out on a lot of conversions. Over 80% of customers say that they want an e-commerce experience to have delivery dates. I know I love that, being able to picture in my mind, like, oh yeah, June 30th is when I'm going to have this thing in my hands, and I can like mark that mentally in my mind. So yeah, just to touch on a couple of the most popular advanced features at ShipperHQ, definitely driving a lot of value for our merchants and their customers. So like I mentioned before, we've been talking a lot about FedEx, UPS, USPS, but we integrate with a whole host of carriers, both internationally, domestically, and then anything from small parcel to LTL, to your 3PLs that are out there brokering those LTL shipments as well. Same thing for even duties and taxes. There's an option for that, and in-house delivery if you're like a furniture supplier and you want to offer a white glove setup. Those are all the types of things that we can now offer in the checkout to our merchants, so their customers can have more options and more affordable options to fit their needs. We have talked about enhanced checkout a lot here. I think it's something that you really can't talk enough about. It offers that split checkout, as you can see here, like we talked about before. You can, either select Express for the T-shirt, or Ground for the pair of shoes. Or if you're in the local area, you can also go and decide to pick up your entire order at the local shop. So you can, do click and collect or in-store pickup, as we call it here in the States. And that, obviously gives a much greater customer experience that, again, they're expecting from merchants and every day. Aside from that, obviously we've already kind of harped on the idea that you can also check out with pre-order or out of stock items right alongside in stock items, which is hugely beneficial in enabling the merchant. So you're probably thinking, like, when would this be a good fit? Am I a good fit for ShipperHQ? We really have merchants from all the way across the gamut. We have sort of, mom and pop shops that are new to e-commerce, all the way up to, Fortune 500 multinational companies that really have very complex setups with, multiple warehouses, duties and taxes, complex shipping requirements, different regulatory requirements because of dangerous goods, all of that stuff. So whether you're just trying to get rates and add in a couple of shipping rules, we have an option for you. Or if you're looking for like a true shipping consultant and have somebody kind of make sense of this whole e-commerce shipping industry, then we're also there for you as well. We have years and years of experience and really good connections. So if we don't have the answer, we'll find it for you. And then as far as get in touch, obviously ShipperHQ.com. Feel free to go there, take a look. We have a great new website coming out soon, so keep your eyes out for that. But you can always reach me, Tristan, at ShipperHQ.com, or feel free to give us a call.
There's a lot to shipping, and there's a lot of money to be saved, by doing it correctly. There's a lot of opportunity to improve the customer experience. So reach out to Tristan, or in general, if you'd like to learn more about building or migrating or growing your e-commerce store, you can always reach out to us here at Shero Commerce. Thanks again, Tristan, and thanks everyone for watching.
Happy to be here. Thanks, Patrick.